Naive Bayes is a probabilistic algorithm, and in this case we try to calculate the probability of each class for every observation. So for example, if we have two classes, class 1 and class 2, for every observation, Naive Bayes calculates the probability that the observation belongs to class 1 and the probability that the observation belongs to class 2. Whichever probability is higher is selected as the class for the observation. To understand the working of Naive Bayes, you must be familiar with the following concepts: probability, conditional probability, and Bayes theorem. We'll go through all of these concepts before we go into the working of Naive Bayes. Let's start with probability. So probability of an event is the measure or the chances of occurrence of an event. This value lies between 0 and 1. So if the probability of an event is closer to 0, then we can say that the chances of occurrence of this event is very low. On the other hand, if the probability of occurrence of an event is closer to 1, let's say 0.9 or 0.92, we can say that the chances of occurrence of this event is very high. The probability of any event is calculated in the following manner. We consider the number of favorable outcomes to that event, which is, let's say, A in this case, and we take the total number of outcomes, which is often called the sample space. So let's look at a few examples. Suppose we want to find the probability of getting a head when we toss a coin. What do you think is the total number of outcomes in this case? We have two possible outcomes, heads and tails. So we can say that the total number of outcomes is 2. And the number of favorable outcomes? We want to determine the probability of getting a head, right? So the favorable outcome is just 1. So we can write this probability of event of getting a head on the toss as 1 by 2, which comes out to be 0.5. Let's look at another example. Suppose we want to find the probability that on a roll of dice we'll get an even number. So in this case, our event A is to get an even number. Let's again look at the total number of outcomes. On a roll of dice, what are the values we can get? 1, 2, 3, up to 6, right? So we have total number of possible outcomes to be 6. And the number of favorable outcomes? Our event is to get an even number. And the favorable outcomes could be 2, 4 or 6. So we have 3 even numbers. So we can write the probability of this event to be 3 by 6, which again comes out to be 0.5. So I hope you understand how we calculate probability. Let's look at another concept, the conditional probability. As the name suggests, conditional probability is calculating the probability of an event for a given condition. So consider this example. When we roll 2 dice and we want to find out what is the probability that the second dice will get a value of 2, given that the sum of the numbers on both the dice should be less than or equal to 5. So in this case, getting 2 on the second dice is our event. On the other hand, getting the sum of both the numbers to be less than or equal to 5 is our condition. The conditional probability is often represented in the following manner, where we calculate the probability of the occurrence of an event for a given condition. So the question was, we want to determine the probability of getting 2 on the second dice when we have the condition that the sum of the numbers on both the dice should be less than or equal to 5. If I break down this problem, we have two events. The event 1 is the condition that the sum of the two numbers should be less than or equal to 5, and the event 2 is the number on the second dice should be equal to 2. Let us see how conditional probability works. So if this is the probability of the event 1, that the sum should be less than or equal to 5, and this is the probability of event 2, that the number on the second dice should be equal to 2, then what we actually want to find out is an intersection of both. So this will be our favorable outcome. Now what this part represents is the probability of getting 2 on the second dice when the condition 1 is satisfied. So this part represents the favorable outcome, while this part here represents the total possible outcomes when the condition 1 is satisfied. So we can write the formula for conditional probability in the following manner, where we calculate the probability of E1 intersection E2 and divide it by the probability of E1. Let's use this formula on our example. So here we have all the possible outcomes that we can get by the throw of 2 dice. Now out of all these 36 value, what is the probability of E1? It will be the numbers which have sum less than or equal to 5. So these numbers. I will highlight this for you. So we have these 10 numbers here which have the sum less than equal to 5. So the probability of the event E1 can be written as 10 by 36. Now let's find out the probability of E1 intersection E2. So out of all these numbers, what are the cases where we have the number 2 on second dice? So we have all these values. But of all these cases, we want the intersection of E1 and E2. So where the condition E1 is also satisfied are just these three values. So we can write the probability of E1 intersection E2 as 3 by 36. Since out of all 36 values, only these three values satisfy the condition. So now I have the value of probability of E1 and probability of E1 intersection E2. Let's put it in the formula. So we get the probability of getting 2 on a dice given the sum is less than equal to 5 as 3 by 36 upon 10 by 36. So which comes out to be 0.3. Now this is a very simple example and we can actually verify it from this graph. So our favorable outcome in this case would be these three values where the value on the second dice is 2 and also the sum is less than equal to 5. And our total sample space would be all the possible values which satisfy this condition. It will be these 10 values as you can see here, right? And hence the probability comes out to be 3 by 10, which is again 0.3. This is an example taken from Wikipedia and you can also go ahead and check out the explanation there. So coming back to the formula for conditional probability, we have the probability of occurrence of both E1 intersection E2 divided by the probability of E1. Now similarly I can write it for probability of E1 given the condition E2 as probability of E2 intersection E1 divided by probability of E2. Now note that these two values are the same since this area in both cases does not change. So we can write this first formula in the following manner where we replace probability of E1 intersection E2 with probability of E2 intersection E1. Now to simplify this, we can determine the value of probability of E2 intersection E1 from the second formula here. So I can write this as probability of E1 given the condition E2 into the probability of event E2. So I'm going to replace this value with this value. Once I do that, the final formula comes out to be the probability of E2 given the condition E1 to be the probability of E1 given the condition E2 into probability of event E2 divided by probability of event E1. Now this is our Bayes theorem. So this term is called the likelihood, this term is called the prior, and this term is known the evidence. Now that you are familiar with the conditional probability and Bayes theorem,